Hello, everybody, and welcome. Am I live? Is my mic working? It is. Hello, excellent, wonderful, professional stuff here. Welcome back to Guildhall of the Multiverse, and tonight we're going to be beginning our foray into a brand new system, the Savage World Adventure Deluxe Edition. I believe is the contrived bullshit name, but everyone calls it Suede. Uh, Brand new system we're starting here. Nobody can see me except for my Discord friends as of right now. We're still working on that. Um, but we're going to be beginning with the setting Deadlands, the campaign Blood Drive. Tonight I'm gonna do a quick introduction for our players. I'm joined by three of our regulars. We got Bluesglitchy. Say hi, Blue. We got BB and Phil, and we got Stormy Dumpling. And I myself am the Marshal, the game Marshal in this setting. And we're going to start it off with a little introduction, a little insight into the backstory of our characters before we introduce them. So, join me as we begin to discuss Amanda Bilk Benjamin and Lord Bull Benjamin. They began their career in crime shortly sometime after 1979. The break-in Benjamins, folks called them. Veterans of the Great Rail Conflict, the couple struck back at the rail empires by robbing them blind. Most took their campaign. Oh man, I didn't have you guys. Yeah, I got it fixed. Over the next 5 years, they rounded up a large posse. Accounts vary as to how many, and made themselves a big thorn in the side of the rail company. Some of the names included Blue,
I'm Killer Camilla. I happen to be following in my father's footsteps, and I happen to be a good gunslinger for everybody in this here mob,
what
or
year did you
gang, I
join the
guess you could
gang?
call it. I joined in 1972, darling.
From sometime between 1974 and 1979 and
Oh,
1984.
1879.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean.
then I joined pretty early.
Okay, 79, we'll say.
There we go.
Okay, and then we have Stormy.
I'm Rick Hennessy. Folks around these parts know me as DocDoc. Obvious reasons. I joined the gang. I'd say they were pretty new when I came around.
So 79?
Probably about 79, 77, somewhere
Okay.
around in there.
Wow. Context clues or instructions sometime between 79 and 84.
So yeah,
79.
probably 79.
Okay. And then go ahead, BB.
My name is Buchanan. I don't have a last name because I didn't never knew my family, but they call me Bucky around these parts. And
And
I joined the gang. You what?
what was your role in the gang?
I like to do the stuff that requires, forgery, that type of stuff, looking through official documents, seeing cheap ways to get money, you know, trying to cheat people as best I can without having to do too much. I like to be sneaky.
And when did you join the gang?
I joined in 1880, right when they were looking for someone to kind of keep an eye out on things and, you know, pilfer through official documents, that sort of stuff.
So the next few statements are what one might hear if the Benjamins are brought up in casual conversations. Rumors and hearsay mostly. You were part of the gang. You know the truth. You get to decide whether or not these statements are true. I'm going to go around and ask each of you a question. We're going to do this a couple times here. I'm going to start in reverse order with BB. So BB, is this statement true or false? And feel free to add as much context as you like here. The Benjamins and their gang are ruthless, willing to kill, maim, and torture to get what they want.
False. We might have a, not the best reputation, but, we're just doing it out here to survive.
Okay. Blue. Black, white, red, or yellow, the Benjamin gang allowed anyone to join. True or false?
Absolutely true. Otherwise, you wouldn't be seeing me here.
Stormy. They will rob anyone, rich or poor. True or false?
False. We're out here to make money. And we ain't making no money off the poor folk.
And then we're going to roll back around to BB. This next set of questions is going to be regarding some things that they've done or may have done. Statement. They slaughtered a small town in the outskirts of Kansas City.
False.
What's
We
the truth
slaughtered
of
a
that
few
rumor?
people.
That rumor
We
came from
slaughtered a few
somewhere.
people. Yeah, we slaughtered a few people, but they had it coming, They were rivals and they were trying to turn us in. It was either us or them.
So
We had to do what we had to do.
maybe the other gang did it and it got blamed on the Benjamins because they were the only ones that survived.
Yeah, we kind of got caught in the crosshairs.
Okay. Blue. Statement. They kidnapped the daughter of an Italian diplomat.
Ooh, well, that right there could have been true there, darling. I might say my Italian roots could be a little wiggling right now, saying that could be true, because, there's some wealth and money in them.
Stormy. Statement. They once robbed 5 separate banks in one day.
True. The crew was bigger then than it is now, but absolutely true.
Yes, regardless of the truth, nary a soul living in the Mississippi River states didn't know of them. Some say they bit off more than they can chew, that they pissed off enough of the rail companies in this time in which they are consolidating power in the West. The rail companies set a trap. Rumor is they had an inside man. One night in late February 1984, on a lonely stretch of rail from Jackson to Dallas, the break-in Benjamins were ambushed during a train robbery. Some of them were gunned down. There were survivors. Began a wave of terror. It started with meat, 200 head of cattle. Southern Texas to dark, arcane herd. No one knows. Nearly every head slaughtered, distributed across the death, famine, war. A full-blown hell on earth. Hold on. This isn't right. This isn't how it's supposed to happen.
It was sounding good to me. Damn.
Or rather, it is, but only in most versions. I can make a change, but after that, it's up to you. A flip of the coin, a roll of the die, a turn of the card. Fate is not a river, it is an ocean, an endless eternity of twisting currents, coiling around each other. Most folk spend their lives drifting along these currents with no real control, no real goals. Every so often, one of them will, through either frustration or curiosity, decide to change their fate, to jump from one current to the next. This causes ripples, of course, and often, through the chains of fate that bind us to one another, drags others into an unintended fate. One might look at this and think this should cause chaos, a confusing mass shift in destiny. But it's all the same ocean. All the currents lead to the same places. And then there's the wild cards, the folks who learn to use the currents, those who dance on the waves with Lady Luck. Most of them are dashed on the currents. Most of them are left to die horrifically mangled. But sometimes they manage to grab onto fate, wrestle it to the ground, and force their will upon it, breaking it. In nature abhors a vacuum. The natural order of life, death, fate, and time all fold in upon themselves, sending tidal waves across it all. And when it's settled, everything is much the same, but a little darker, a little more different. A reoccurring nightmare building up over and over the decades and then resetting. The same actors playing different roles, the same stages holding different acts, the same bards play in different songs. A flip of the coin, a roll of the dice, a turn of the card. You should have died. You did die. On the train, what should have happened, what should have been a car full of payroll, was actually filled with 13 U.S. Marshals and one of them new Gatling guns. They tore through your crew in a blink. You recall watching the stars fade, feeling your body go cold, and the blood rushing out, staining the last of the spring snow in the shadow of the mountain. And then, as quick as a blink, you were standing before the safe car again. In the instant between the door opening and the lawman's murderous volley, you managed to save yourself and a few others. After the bloody battle, you bested the marshals, incurring heavy losses on yourself. Heavy losses yourselves. At least half of the gang, including the leaders, Bilk and Bull. As you scramble to gather what loot you can, you notice that one man, Nelson Deadbeat Jackson, was not among the living corpses. The job was his idea. Said he got the lead from a stagecoach that he held up outside of Chicago. Even the promised riches were a disappointment. A few hundred cash and 3,000 in marked bonds. Any cashier runs these numbers and will send out alarms to every law agency this side of the Mississippi, and they'll be on you by sunset. You'll be swinging by sunrise. But now is not the time. You can hear the dogs barking. You can hear the stomping of hoofs and the shouts of men. The sun rises on the first day. So, that's the intro. We're going to play a little game here. A little course of to see what happens to your characters over this mad dash, this mad escape over the next few days. So it is your characters, and as of right now, an undetermined amount of NPCs who are going to die. Your choices will determine who and how. I am going to lay out 3 cards. I have different situations for different suits depending on what card you choose. You're going to select one of these cards, 1, 2, or 3, and I will tell you what the situation is, and you will tell me sort of what happens. Everyone good?
Yeah.
Any
Got it.
questions?
Nope.
Who wants to go
Negative.
first? Who wants to make the first choice?
I'll
Blue.
make a tip at it.
You make a tip at it? Okay, just a second. Let me shuffle a few times. How many times do you want me to shuffle? You tell me. Since you're starting.
Good number 3.
Good number 3. By the way, does everyone have the card that I sent them? Everyone have that handy? Everyone know what their card is?
Yeah.
Don't tell me right now.
Yes,
Just keep
sir.
it in mind. And at the end of all this, let me know if you send me a private message and let me know if your card came up during this. If you saw it either on the card you picked or
Ooh.
somewhere at any point, let me know. Don't tell me what card it is, but let me know if it came up. I'm trusting you to be honest.
I like this.
Okay.
Never been much of a card player myself.
1,
But
2, 3. Pick a door. 1, 2, or 3.
give me number 2.
2 of spades.
No.
Escape. You make it through the first day with no incident. So
There
you
we go,
managed to
y'all.
escape.
We made
You
it.
you flee from the first day. Tell me a little bit about what this first day is like. Half of your friends gone. Your boss is gone. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the party. You guys had this revelation, and I'll tell you that right now. You speak it over between yourselves. Seems like everybody in the gang had this moment where they died, and then time was reset, and they remembered it. But you guys were the only ones who were managed to use that knowledge well enough to make it out alive.
I'd reckon we'd all be trying to figure out what our next move was, but I figure we'd also be asking around what
Mhm.
happened to us and why we all feel different.
Okay. I think the general consensus is that nobody really knows. You don't really have a lot of time to sit down and really talk about it today. In fact, I think tonight you don't even really get a chance to rest. Maybe you get a chance to sit down for a few minutes before you hear, or for a couple of hours before you hear those dogs barking. And it is time to run.
Yeah, I'd say we're just going, trying to keep our next move, keep our feet ahead of us,
Okay.
stay in the dark.
Stormy, BB, who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Okay. Just a second. Okay. So, 1, 2, 3.
Number 1.
Jack of Spades. Yet another day where nobody dies, but you are still being hunted. Next is Stormy. 1, 2, 3. Pick a door.
3.
Jesus Christ. Spades. So it may wind up
Yeah.
just being you 3 survivors. Maybe there was only 6 people.
I like these odds.
All right. So we've established our order. Blue. 1, 2, 3.
Give me 1.
Just a moment.
Oh, he's hesitating. Today didn't go so smooth, y'all.
This is Queen of Clubs. Doom. You make
Okay.
a bad call and put the entire group in danger. 1d4 people
Wasn't me.
die as a direct result of your idea. What was your decision? What was the choice that killed 2 people today?
To pull the rope. Let the
Pull the
bridge
rope.
fall. It wasn't gonna hold us all.
Okay, so you were crossing a rope above a ravine. It was you and Clinton Franks and Dan Sure Shot Hensley. The rest of your group got across, but they were just a little bit too slow, and those hunters, they were coming across. So it was either cut the rope now and save who's left, or everyone goes down. And you cut that rope.
I sure did. We all know what we're getting into when we sign up.
Let me write these names down real quick. Is Fred Powell right? Is that what I said?
Yep. Fred, Dan,
Dan Hensley.
I killed me 2 men. And I've already got 2 people under my belt and I just started shooting.
I mean, let's be fair. By this point in your career, you probably have a lot more than 2.
Oh, I know I've got a lot more than
This
2
is
though.
not your first dust.
It's
All
just 2
right.
It's not
today.
my first rodeo.
BB. 1, 2, 3. Pick a door.
1.
We're running out of spades. That's all I'm gonna say.
Ah,
Ace of
girl.
spades.
That's my girl.
Stormy. 3 doors. Pick one.
I'm a high roller. Let's go 3 again. Did you have to go get more spades?
No. I heard some voices and was like, where
Sage
was
of
that? And,
spades, from
my
what I've
window
been
was
told.
cracked and I was hearing my neighbor. 10 of hearts.
Ooh. Haven't had a heart yet.
Sacrifice. Somebody else sacrifices themselves to save you. Why would they do
Okay.
this?
To save me?
Yeah. Maybe your character doesn't necessarily have to know this is why. But why do you think that they sacrifice themselves to save you specifically? The rest of the group, yes, but you know that it was definitely, if it weren't for you, they would probably still be alive. They purposely put themselves in harm way or something like that for you.
Um, I'm gonna say the dogs caught up to us, and I was a little slower than everybody else packing up my stuff. As a doctor, I'm carrying more than everybody else is, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody came and fought off the dogs while I got away, and I'm assuming they are torn to shreds.
Yes, you flee hearing the screams of Nellie Henson as she bravely defends the group's doctor. She was hoping to learn from you. She was sort of always at your coattails, looking over. She wanted to be a doctor. She's young, so she tried to protect you while you got all of your super important doctor stuff out of there. And as you fled into the night, you heard the screams of her as the dogs ripped into her flesh.
That's why I'm an alcoholic.
We're making some fun stories here. Blue, you got 3 doors. Which one you want?
Give me 2.
Diamonds. Failure. You make a mistake.
What
You
Just out
make
of
a mistake.
curiosity, what the fuck is clubs?
Clubs is doom. Clubs was 1d4.
Oh,
This one is just
goddamn,
1.
okay.
This was just 1. You get 1 person killed. What did you do? What was your choice? Or not necessarily your choice or your direction, but they're dead, and it's could be argued that it's your fault. What happened?
Well, see, I thought I'd caught somebody going through some of our last bit of rations that were supposed to be spreading out between everybody. They were pocketing them in their pocket. I had just so happened to address them about it. They seemed to have something wrong in their eyes, like something had taken over. Something serious and almost primal. I told them back off, to not make that move or I'd shoot. They knew I would, so I did.
Okay. So, let's see here. Rory Noland. You caught that
Sorry,
sorry
Rory.
son of a bitch going through the rations. He looked up at you and the look he had in your eyes ain't like none no man ever had before. You've seen man taken by the side of a woman and the drink and the drugs. Something about this man. You still think about it sometimes right before you fall asleep. The look on his face, the hunger, the rage, the fear. You're not entirely sure. What you do know is you don't think you've ever pulled smoother or made a more gut shot in your life directly between the eyes.
Yeah, that was a pretty easy call to make, I'm not gonna lie.
BB,
Mm-hmm.
3 doors. Pick one.
3.
This is bad, guys. This is the worst one.
Uh-oh.
Ace of clubs. Doom.
Oh!
You make a bad call and put the entire group in danger. Most of the time, it's 1d4. With the ace specifically, it's 4.
Hmm.
What did you do? What was so horrible? What mistake did you make that got 4 people killed today?
While we were running,
Mm-hmm.
I led our group to a homestead with a family, and they'd helped us in the past evade authorities. And little old Mary Smith and her brother and his 2 children hit us in the barn, but the dogs descended, and as we were leaving, they caught the family and took them out while we were running, escaping from the dogs.
I love you, BB.
Atta
So
girl.
those innocents kind of got caught. It was my fault. It was devastating.
I love how she added a couple of people to the gang just to sacrifice them.
That's sort of what this whole point. That's what the whole point of this is. We are literally just adding people to this game to sacrifice them. That's what we're here for. None of these people are making it out alive. If they have a name right now, they're dead. Except for you guys. Or are you?
Are we?
Kind of.
We'll see.
Just a moment here. Just need to double. I lost track. I lost count of the days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're on day 8, and so far 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people. Average of 1 people a day.
Well, damn, put it like that.
And now we're back to Stormy. 1, 2, 3. Hello?
2.
2. Another bad day.
Well, we can't
6
be
of
friends.
clubs. Doom, you made a bad call today. You got 4 people killed. And I think I'm actually going to take a little bit of more of a prompt on this one. You tried to make some money today by doing your classic snake oil sales trick. You found a small like ranch or something, so you pulled up with your ghost gas. And I want to say most of the time you do your ghost gas stuff, and it's mostly show. It doesn't really work on anybody but you up until this point. But you give them some aerosolized morphine or something. They feel good for a few hours, and you usually walk away with a few extra coins in your pocket. You try to pull that today on this old man, crippled, like basically in wheelchairs. I don't know. I honestly don't know if they have wheelchairs right now, but we'll say he's in a wheelchair. And you stick the mask on his face, you pump the ghost gas into him, and You're doing your whole bloviating, now you merely wait a few hours, and by the morning time, he'll be up and walking, and turn around and you look and see he's up and walking. Totally stunning you. And you can
Oh,
take the narration from there.
whoa, whoa. That's, you need to be studied, my
Damn,
friend.
Doc.
That took effect a lot faster than it normally does for most people.
I want to
That's a
say,
miracle.
people are basically like, oh, what? And like the demand, usually you sell a few pints. Most of the crowd is sort of reticent. This time, you have actual empirical proof that it works. So they're basically swarming you. And this causes a lot of attention for you. So, what call do you make trying to escape from the situation that you called more attention than you intended to that causes 4 of your gang to die?
Oh shit. um,
Or 4 people in
I'm gonna
general,
while
I guess.
I was trying while I was doing this, a few
Mhm.
of our guys were trying to knock over the bank
Mhm.
just down the street,
Mhm.
and well, just outside of the bank, our our pictures were put up on posters, and somebody, while they were inside the bank, recognized me from the poster and called attention to me right as our guys were coming out of the bank.
Okay.
And
After, did you have more you wanted to add?
I was winging it.
Okay. No, yeah, good. I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to interrupt you. That's good. Yeah, you're doing this whole spiel, and they've got another job going on down there, and they hear somebody talking about, hey, that doctor's worth a certain amount of money, and these guys hear it, and they're like, oh shit, well now we're gonna fuck up these guys, and it causes whole fracas. And that gives you guys, the rest of the gang, a chance to get away. But these 4 people, the names are, we'll do Aaron Clark. If you have a suggestion, please feel free. But I figured it would just be faster and easier to use a name generator. Levi
That works.
McPherson.
I never liked
What?
Levi anyway.
You never liked Levi? What was your problem with Levi?
No, he's kind of a jerk.
Kind of a jerk?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get some more ladies
Yeah,
on
I don't
this
think
list.
he
What do we
liked
say here?
women much.
Ladies. Velma O'Neill. I like Velma. I
Oh,
like a
that's
Velma.
sad. Yeah, I liked
We
her.
liked Velma.
Yeah.
Seneca
There we go. We finally
Taltree.
got one we felt bad about.
What
It's
was that,
Velma's.
Stormy?
Yeah.
Seneca Taltree.
Seneca Taltree.
Good name.
Yeah, it is a good name.
She was kind of new though. We didn't really know her that long.
Okay.
Just came up from the migration.
Yeah, but my character from the last game, or from Cult, was Jacob Taltree. So
Oh.
Oh,
We
we're
are
calling it
connected.
back.
We are connected across space and time. Go then, there are worlds other than these. All right, now we come
We
back
travel
to
many
Blue.
places. Howdy.
1, 2, 3. I feel like the
3.
rest of this deck is clubs. What was it, Blue?
Oh, fuck. 3.
3. Case in point.
Hey, so what?
I said
he
case
said
and
case in
point.
point.
Oh, okay.
You got lucky. One person. Doom. You make a bad call and get one person killed.
All right. So as we're running from the dogs, it's nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
We're on uneven terrain, kind of up in the hills, up in the mountains, up in where there's canyons. I just so happened to tell one of the ladies to run ahead. Run, go get yourself safe. I'll keep shooting from behind us. Go. She ran ahead and I didn't see the ledge there. Neither did she.
So she just ran right off, lemminged right off of it.
Yes, sir. She tried to stop, it looked like, but there was no stopping that force.
Got a name? Or you want me to find one? I can pull one up. No big deal.
Yeah. I'm,
Okay.
I'm terrible at names.
Selma
That's
Kirby.
not my gift.
That's fine.
Thelma, yeah.
Selma Kirby.
Bless her heart. She tended to
All
be
right.
one of the sweeter ones, taking care of everybody. Well, I wanted her to run ahead, tried to keep her safe.
Mm-hmm.
I made a bad call.
You had a bad call. It happened. Hey, listen, it's been a week of bad calls. Actually, it's been
Yeah, they
1,
ain't shit.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days worth of bad calls. And then we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, BB.
2.
2. 3 of
There's those
spades.
pretty hearts.
You're safe for today.
Had a girl.
I feel like if there was any trust at the start of this between these
Yeah.
gang members, it is all gone now.
Definitely by the time it starts, I want you guys to be a little sort of like at each other's throat. That's sort of like the energy I'm going for the start. Like not necessarily
Y'all
ready
don't
to kill
hate
each other,
me.
but you guys have been on the road. The only thing holding you together is the fact that you guys are basically have the same, name attached to you. And if one of you goes down, the rest of you likely do at this point. So, Stormy,
1.
4 spades, safety.
Oh, these spades are good.
Nobody dies today. Couple of days, no deaths. You sort of feel like you might be losing the trail at this point, actually. The dogs take
I'm
a
gonna
little bit
break
longer to catch up. You're not seeing the wanted signs anymore when you're walking into town, but you are still hearing the name Break-In Benjamins, and you've been moving sort of in a southeasterly sort of towards the Mexico border at this point because you've essentially decided to hop the border and lay low in Mexico for a while. Your names are too hot, your faces are everywhere. It's time to go. Um, so we're gonna do one more round here, one for each of you, and then we're gonna maybe do a couple of special little scenes here, and then we're gonna start with the true introduction of our story here. At this point, we've lost quite a few NPCs. And we are sort of you three plus sort of the last little bit of the NPCs that are going to die here today. So Blue,
I'm gonna break it right now. I'm sorry, y'all.
pick a door.
Give me number 2.
Sacrifice. Somebody else sacrifices themselves to save you. What happened, and why would they do this?
Must
At
have
this
been
point,
Jonah. Didn't
Jonah.
know his last name. Didn't know if he even had a last name. We're sitting there running around, trying to get away, thinking we finally got some distance, as you said. Slowly getting comfortable, so we start exploring, trying to get some food, trying to get any kind of supplies me and him can rustle up out there. Well, start going, running, walking. Find myself that got stuck. My ankle got twisted. He's the one that helped carry me back, but sadly, on the way coming back, he heard them dogs. He said there's no way we both can get back in time. You can walk. You can at least hobble. Get your ass back there, and I'm going to try and loop them around so they don't follow your scent back to the people. If I don't make it back, go ahead and leave. And that was the last time I saw Jonah.
You hobbled your way back, and I want to say you hobbled your way back, and Doc, this is the first time you've probably gotten a chance to use your gas on a friend. You were maybe a little nervous, but you had to move quickly. And so you're like, fuck it, and you just like slapped it on her face as she's like sort of stressed about Jonah, or maybe just sort of, he's dead, we gotta go. And you just like looked at her wound and like slapped her in the face, and you took a big old, and suddenly your leg just went clook back into place, and huh, and you guys were able to
Up
run.
on this, you'll feel right as rain.
I'm not going to ask questions, Doc, about what you just gave me. I'm just going to get us to where we need to go, but that's very unique stuff you've got there.
That's probably well advised.
Yeah, and you probably know DocDoc at this point. You know his whole his whole like medicinal gas shit is all hoopla and just meant to strum up some coin from dumb locals. It should not work. You don't know why it worked, but it did this
I
time.
don't.
So you
I'm
guys
sure
managed to
glad it
escape.
did.
What?
I'm sure glad it did.
You guys managed to escape into the night. The next day, BB has to pick a door. Bucky, what are you gonna choose today?
We'll go to.
2? Okay. You make a mistake and get someone killed. It's an ace of diamonds. Yeah, ace of diamonds. You make a mistake and you get someone killed. What did you do? And give a brief description of your relationship to this person. This is for someone that you would be close to. With an ace, this is someone that you're close to.
Well, me and Jimmy Myers have been close for a while, but sometimes we get on each other's nerves. And when I was, getting the campfire going one night, getting dinner going, he was kind of arguing with me about something, and I was trying to get a tin of beans open, so I couldn't concentrate with him talking all some nonsense to me. So I sent him out in the woods to go look for more firewood. When I did, I sent him in the direction of a big pit, and he rolled his ankle in a snake pit. And he came back, and we didn't have anything for him, so he perished right there by the fire.
Snake bite.
Yeah, I kind of used all my gas on her.
Yeah, his
appreciate
gas.
it.
I think maybe you tried to use your gas on him probably, but it didn't work on the poison.
But
It maybe closed the wound, but it didn't work on the poison. At this point is probably when you start tinkering with it and adjusting it a little bit to do the clearance, the wherever it clears the wound or whatever it is.
right,
That's
that's
how
where
that
I
works.
learned one of the limitations of what it was currently.
Yeah, and you have to specifically. It was an intention. You could either heal the wound or remove the poison, and you healed the wound, but you didn't remove the poison. We'll say that's how it works for now.
Lessons
Um,
learned.
so Jimmy Myers made it through how many days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 days. Made it through 14 days with you. 2 solid weeks of running and gunning and just a terrible lifestyle. And you guys sort of saved each other's backs, laughed back and forward. And when he came back with that bite, and Doc tries to heal him and looks up, sort of gives that nod. Uh, the choice is either to let Jimmy choke on his own vomit or put him out of his misery. What do you choose?
Well, I had hoped till the very end, and
Mhm.
he did start choking Even then, I thought I could save him, but he didn't make it.
Okay.
Kind of tore me up. We were pretty close.
Okay. Last one here. Last set of doors, and our last chooser is Stormy. 1, 2, 3. Which one's it gonna be?
Three.
Queen of Hearts. Someone else sacrifices themselves to save you. Describe the situation and give a brief explanation of why they would do this.
Can we call him Earl, please? Because Earl needs to die at least once.
Got against Earls.
I was a girl raised in the 90s. Earl had to die.
Okay, I don't know if you could call it sacrificing himself to save me
Mm-hmm.
or just not ratting me out. So me and Earl, we come into this little town and we went to the bar or to the pub to wash down the last couple weeks. And well, one of the saloon girls, she offered to show us a good time after many drinks, or not so many, as it were. Well, the room she let us into, Earl walked in with her first. I was right on his heels, and he kind of shoved me out of the way as soon as he got into the room, and I was about to be very upset about it. And then I heard the telltale voice of U.S. Marshals, get your hands up. We had walked right into a damn ambush. Well, I turned right the hell around and walked right the fuck out.
Okay. So Earl Barton sacrificed himself to give you a chance to run away, or at least kept his mouth shut long enough for you, and now just the three of you to get away. And as you escape on this 15th day since the botched railway job, you you manage to throw them off. You're pretty sure that they're not going to catch you. You're pretty sure that with Earl, hanging the next day, that they're not going to search for you anymore. They've put in a lot of money and a lot of effort, and the three of you are not worth it. You have $3,000 in bonds, but those bonds really don't mean anything unless you turn them in, and you can't turn them in without being caught. So you take a couple days, you hunker down, maybe you sort of find a hidey hole, one where you're pretty sure you're not going to be found. You manage to throw off the scent at this point, and you feel pretty confident enough to continue moving after a few extra days. Moving again southwest, and you to stop by a small town, and you haven't had much of a chance to fundraise or sort of shop for goods or anything up until this point. But this town, this town that you did stop in, you managed to supply up a little bit, and that's where you have we get the supplies that you have when we're going to start our story here. But you have to keep moving. You basically feel like you want to get over the bar here, the border here, and where jurisdictions can't reach you. So you continue moving for another week or so. I say after the 15th day, it's another week or so. So we'll call it an even 5 days. We'll call it 20 days. Make it even. 20 days since the incident. And you roll into a small town called Stutter's Flats with an amount of names in the dirt behind you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 people dead in 15 days. And about that number died, during the original incident. You are weary, exhausted, dirty, grimy, hungry. The rations you have are fairly not super nutritious and whatnot. We're gonna take a small break. Nutritious and whatnot. Oh god. We're gonna take a small break. Nutritious and whatnot. Oh my goodness! I started hearing myself back in my own throat, or back in my own ear.
Are we back?
Yes.
Hello? Yeah.
Sorry. Hello. What happened? Are we good?
I don't know. I think it's my end.
Your end? Okay. Well, I accidentally unmuted myself. What are we doing?
Damn internet.
Okay.
I think it's
You
resetting.
said we were taking a quick break.
Yeah, we're gonna take a short break and then we're gonna start with a narrative. We got another maybe an hour or so of narrative we're gonna go through, but we're gonna take a quick break because I have to use the restroom. So,
I gotta reset some internet.
okay. Be right back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back from the break. My bladder is empty. How about yours, Blue?
Absolutely. Fresh
The
and clear.
silence as we waited.
Hey,
Anyways, we're back
meeting my
again.
Bucky.
So I just read off the list of names off camera, and it reads like freaking like one of those war reports. We lost Fred Powell, Dan Hensley. Anyways, so the journey southeast to the Mexican border, Mexico-Texas border, has been fraught with death, and only the three of you are standing. About 30
Shit was like
people
a
dead.
read-off of the Hunger Games.
About Nelly. Dan. Anyways, as we approach Stutter's Flats, we open on a dusty saloon. Midday, behind the bar, a portly man cleans a mug with a dingy cloth. Two men sit at the table, unenthusiastically playing dominoes. Cigars clenched in their teeth, adding to the general miasma of dust and stale alcohol. At the bar is a young red-headed woman. She's dressed in well-worn rancher's clothes. She holds her hand up to the barkeep. 2 fingers. A sweaty man lays down a glass on the counter and pours a measure of clearish amber liquid, sliding it down to her. She holds it up to an errant sunbeam spilling through the crack in the old wooden wall. Her eyebrow raises. Did you at least use clean water to Did you at least use clean water to water this down? Pretty sure there was nothing in it. She shrugs and tosses the whiskey down. As she slams the glass back down on the counter, the saloon door swings open and 3 figures shamble in, adding even more road dust to the sorry conditions of the saloon. I want you guys to take that scene in mind, and I want you to describe your characters, given everything that's happened up until this point. I want you to describe your characters as they walk into the saloon, and if you would like, you can add a small detail to the scene. So we're going to start with Stormy.
All right, so I picture us walking in, and it's the classic saloon scene. There's people playing cards. There's a guy playing piano, bartender. Classic Western bar scene.
I'm hearing the Stardew Valley saloon theme in my head right now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess we come in, and I tell the girls, go get us a table, and
Describe
I
your
go,
character.
well,
Real quick. Who walks in the door? What do they look like? Tell me what you look like.
well, my hair's a mess. My glasses are dirty as sin. Pretty much covered head to toe in dirt. We ain't had done nothing but run hard for like 2 weeks straight. But through all that, I still look like I'm a little wired.
Okay. I want to say as you approach the counter, the camera probably catches a glimpse of the like rusty looking tanker that you keep at your side or wherever you keep it. Excuse me. The camera sort of lingers on that. BB, describe your character.
Bucky's tired. He's almost a little bit sunburnt because he's so white on his cheeks and at the tops of his hands. They're cracked. He's real thirsty. They haven't had good water in a while. But his cowboy hat is also soaked through with sweat off the rim. He pulls it off, reveals his shiny bald spot on the top of his head, a little bit of red hair around that. He saunters forward. He's looking around, seeing if this is a good place. Also, at the end of the day, he doesn't really care. He just wants to sit down, rehydrate, look for some decent food. He hasn't had any decent food in a while, and just kind of take everything in. That's what's happened in the last couple of weeks. He's still remembering all the people that perished because of him.
Okay.
And he's, just
So
kind of going over things in his head.
So you walk in and walk up to the counter. The redheaded woman sort of eyes you up and down, and then our third and last but not least, Cammy, why don't you give us a little introduction as she enters this with her friends, companions, compadres,
I
survivors.
walk in. Naturally, I take, quick scan of the room. As Phoebe's character walks up and goes to the bar, and so does Doc, I naturally go straight to the farthest back corner. Find that find that corner table, and I'm sitting with my back against that wall waiting for my party.
Why don't you give me
As you
the
can see, I'm
first?
dusty, dirty, wear a nice little black hat, come equipped with a duster, and I definitely am packing.
I will say that when you guys first rolled into town, maybe your first stop was at the nearby general store, but unfortunately, the owner was busy with one of the local ranchers working out a big order with them. So he actually gave you guys each a token for a free drink and a hot bowl of oatmeal at the local saloon. So you guys have a token for that at that point. So that's sort of why
I'll set my tokens down on the table and wait.
okay. The the man, the sort of portly, like grungy looking man, kind of looks at you, and then Doc and BB both, Doc and Bucky both approach the counter.
Yep.
Okay. So you approach the counter next to this sort of redheaded woman. She like looks you up and down. She goes, my, you guys look like you've been through it.
Miss, to say we've been through it, well, that would be sorely understating it.
Turn you up just a little bit. Hold on. Can you give me that one more time?
Miss, to say we've been through it would be sorely understating it. We've been through it, back through it again, and then we turned around and did it again just for shits and giggles.
Excellent. Sorry about that. She's like, well, I understand that. So you guys put your tokens on the counter, and the barkeep sort of like slams sits down two of these sort of crusty looking mugs, pours them from a tap, sets them in front of you, and says it'll be a few minutes on the oatmeal. I gotta make a fresh batch. The one from this morning is a little dry. And he
Thank
looks
you,
Well,
guys.
we appreciate it.
He actively looks up at you. Why don't you give me a notice roll, Cammy?
D20?
What's your notice?
Oh, hold on. Let me get my
Notices.
character sheet up.
Yours would be a D4.
D4?
Yeah.
Got it.
You said you were actively scanning around the room. So whenever I ask you
4?
for a skill roll, did you also roll the fate die I sent you? Whenever you
Oh,
as
no, I can
wild
roll that.
cards,
Not this
yeah,
one?
roll that as well. As wild cards, you always roll
Okay.
the fate die along with whatever skill or whatever you're rolling, and you take whichever's higher.
All right, I got a 4 on the D4 and a 3 on the D6.
So you take that 4, and then that's the maximum you can roll on D4. That blows up. You roll a D6 and add it to that. You can roll a separate D6 or the fate
Oh.
die or whatever you want.
Just out of curiosity,
Oh, I got a 5!
What?
Woo!
which
Hot
one? Which
damn!
one is the fate die?
The fate die
It's
is like a
D6 that looks
green.
a little different.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
in the set that I sent you. There's a D6 that has the pips on it, and like a plateau or something on it. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to be.
Okay,
A
I see it.
mesa. So what'd you get,
Yeah, I
Luke?
got it.
I got 5.
5 total.
So it'd be a 9.
Okay, 9. So that's pretty good. So the target number in general is going to be a 4. Anytime you beat the target number by 4 or more, that's called a success with a raise. I'm going to say that in the other corner, sort of also in the back, but in sort of the other dark corner, you see a sort of harder looking man, dark hat, riding spurs, leaned back, and he's nursing himself a whiskey, and he's keeping a very close eye on this redhead at the counter. And with a raise, what should I give you with a raise?
What you gonna give me?
Just a second. Pull up this guy. So it's a younger looking man of African descent. He looks well. He's got a scar down one of his cheek, his right cheek. He looks like well worn cloak. He's got a Colt peacemaker on his side. Windshaker around his Winchester 73 around his back. A lariat on his other side. He looks as someone who would be considered an enforcer, someone who does combat for their profession. You would say that you might hesitate before you would start some shit with this guy. Like, it might be a bit tricky. He looks like he might be able to put up a fight. He looks like he's the biggest threat in this room by far. I'll give you that with a raise.
All right, I'm keeping my eye on him real close.
And he has an air about him of not quite law, but definitely authority.
Gotcha.
I think I know who this is.
Bucky, what how you doing with this drink here? You slamming it down? How you drinking this one free drink you got?
I'm just relishing the taste since we've had poor fare on the road until now. You know, just one bite at a time. Pretty average eater.
Okay. You sit down, you drink. Do you want to talk to anybody or do anything before I sort of instigate the next little bit here?
No, I'm too tired.
How about you? DocDoc?
No, I'm watching warily, but as long as nobody starts anything with us, I'm hoping to just let the evening ride as smoothly as possible.
Okay. So we got again. Let me reiterate the characters that we got here. We got you three, and then we got the redhead woman, the portly, grungy bartender. We have the two men playing dominoes at one of the tables. This gunslinger in the back, and then also Cammy in the back as well. As After about 30 minutes or so, the porridge, the oatmeal is served out to you guys. Cammy, at no point is a drink ever brought to you.
I was a figuring so.
Yeah, I will say after about how long before you are not given any service do you do anything about it?
I don't.
You don't. So about 30 minutes pass by. You watch your friends at the bar. They finish their oatmeal and their drink, and the door opens again, and in walk about five people. One of them is clearly dressed a bit more of like a dandy style. Very clearly, a very pricey sort of suit, very nice hat, very well polished spurs. Sort of like a shorter beard. I don't have my handouts ready here. Unfortunately, I was not prepared to do handouts. And then about three random thugs, we'll say, walk in, and they're sort of joking around, joshing around with each other. And on, why don't you give me a notice roll, Stormy? DocDoc.
Right.
Remember, roll the skill and the wild die. Fate die.
Yep. Okay, I got the fate thing on the fate die and a 4 on the die 8.
Okay, so with the fate die, you only roll the d6 again. You don't blow it up to the next dice set. So roll a d6 and add it to that, and see which one's higher.
D6.
Yeah.
Okay.
So add
The fate
roll,
die,
what?
the fate die is the only D6 I rolled.
Yeah, so you rolled a d6 and you got the maximum you could on the fate die. So you're gonna roll another d6 and add it to the total. Your total right now is 6. You're gonna add another d6 to that.
Okay, 5.
Okay. So you got 11 total. So that's a success with the raise. So you spot on each of these guys' vests is a symbol indicating that they are employees of the Bayou Vermilion Rail Line. Not necessarily a rail line that you guys have had a lot of encounters with. You maybe have route here or there, but they mostly run, as their name implies, sort of the southern Louisiana purchase states. Um, they
Do they
walk
have
in. What?
communication with the Wasatch Rail Company?
So the situation with the rail lines in the U.S. is the rail companies. What caused the Great Rail Wars was the rail companies were basically given carte blanche. Say, if you lay the track down, you own that land. So that basically there was a rush to lay a single track down all the way to the coast to California. Vasich and they were the only ones that actually did that. So they're the only company that has a main line that runs all the way to California. All of the other companies are allowed to use their rails for a fee, of course, but they all sort of interconnect into a greater web. They all own different sections of it, but Vasich owns the largest section. So they all sort of
Okay.
are a little associated with each other at this point.
Gotcha.
And who just walked in?
So 4 guys walked in, or 5 guys walked in. 4 of them just sort of look like they look like laborers or whatever, all wearing a patch indicating that they work for the Bayou Vermilion Rail Line. And the 5th guy is sort of like a dandier, a bit more well dressed guy, and he walks in, and
Gotcha.
they all sit down, and they order a drink, and then they start peering at this redhead at the counter. And you can see as soon as they walk in, I will say, rolling over your success with the raise, DocDoc. You notice when they walk in, she stiffens up a little bit, and as they sit down and sort of order their drinks, and they start getting cards, and you hear, "Hey, Miss Sutter. Hey, Miss Sutter. Why don't you come on down here? Why don't you come on down here?" And she just looks like she's ignoring him, but they're sort of doing this little cat call at her. The guy, the dandy looking guy, doesn't say anything. He's just sort of sitting down. He's shuffling the cards, dealing them out. But the other 4 are sort of doing this sort of cat call, hollering back at her, trying to get her attention.
All right, that's when I'm gonna walk up to the bar with my token.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna walk to that pretty redhead and tell her, darling, whenever you get the time, could you please just get me my little drink? I'm
Oh,
no hurry.
honey,
I'll be back there.
you may be mistaken. I myself am a patron here. I'm with the local farm here. I'm not a server. I apologize. I
Oh,
wasn't.
well
If
then
you
how
thought
about
I
you
was
just go ahead
ignoring
and
you,
take this drink? How about you just take this drink token then and you keep it? You look like you need a drink more than I do. Have yourself a good night, ma'am.
says, "Well, I'm not going to turn down a free drink." She takes the token,
I go
turns
take
it
my
in.
seat back in my corner.
Uh, hmm. So 2 of the guys watch you as you walk away. They look at each other, and how much longer do you sort of? They're still sort of doing this sort of like cat calling. She hasn't quite left. She says she's still waiting on her. She's with the guy at the general store. He's loading up the cart to take back, so she can't leave at this time. But she does sort of step outside, I will say. But she's still in the general vicinity. But now they're sort of talking to you, and so they're looking at these new guys, and they're like, "Hey, new people in town. Hey, weirdo, you with the tank? What you got there?" One of them sort of stumbles up to you, Doc, puts his arm around you, You look like you got something you want to share there.
Oh, I could share, but it's gonna cost you.
Oh. Why don't you? You don't believe in free samples? He eyes. What would you say? Do you have like a stethoscope or something? I would say you probably. Do you have anything that indicates that you are like a man of medicine on you? Let me do a notice roll for this guy. What's his notice? I have stat blocks here. We're not just playing Calvin Ball here. There's rules.
I'm just gonna mention as soon as those boys get up to walk toward DocDoc, I am paying hot close attention.
Yeah. One of them does. One of them. The rest are sort of talking amongst themselves. And then let's see. Looking at
Well,
the.
I probably have a medical bag. You know,
Mhm.
one of those old timey ones that it's like big, black, and like
Yeah.
snaps open and closed.
So that's a 5 on a d6. So that's a success. So I'll say he notices that you. He pegs you as a man of medical arts, and he says, "You a doctor? I got me a rash. You want to take care of it? You want to take a look at it, doc? You want maybe you and your nurse might want to come back to my place and give me an examination."
Buddy, I'll give you an examination, but it's gonna cost you
Well,
$2.
we here at the Bayou for $2. Wow, oof. Fancy man. Tell you what, you throw in that scrumptious thing you walked in, and I might consider it.
Oh no, no. $2 is my going rate. You throw in the whole doctor office works. Well, considering I'm from a big city, that's gonna run you at least $10. That's damn. If I got to actually do anything for you, we'll re-talk price. You still want that exam, buddy?
Why don't you give me a persuasion? Is that what it's called in the system? God damn it.
Persuasion is not my strong suit.
Get D4 in it. It's a base skill.
Yeah.
So the fate die, do you have to roll a certain number to re-roll your original die to add to it? Is that what it is?
No, if you roll a max on the fate die, then you re-roll a D6 and add it to it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I got a 2 on the D4 and a 3 on the fate die.
Okay, so we'll go with 3. So 3 is not a success though. So he reaches for this medical bag of yours. What do you do? Does anybody take any actions? I will say you get an action. If anybody else wants to take an action, they can give me a Benny.
As he's reaching down for it, I kind of prop my foot up on it, and as I'm doing that, I kind of move my coat from around my hip on that side, so he can see my pistol.
And there's the scrape as 3 chairs instantly are scraped back and knocked over as his 3 friends jump up and also lay hands on their piece and say, "Friend, you might want to rethink that."
Well, your friend might want to rethink reaching for my bag.
Anybody else want to take
Can
that?
Camilla walk up? I'd like to walk up behind him and say, "Friend, it might be a good idea if you don't threaten my friend."
Why don't you give me an intimidation?
Can, definitely. Let's see.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, Stormy, you can spend a penny to re-roll that roll. Would you like to do that real quick before we move on?
Why can't I see things?
Yeah, you
roll
failed.
Persuasion?
Yeah, you failed your persuasion roll.
I mean,
was that BB's roll
sure.
that failed? No, it was yours.
Why is this blacked out?
So you can spend a penny to re-roll that. But we'll say Cammy still does walk up because they still sort of step out.
Oh, there they are. Oh, duh. Okay.
Okay, I got a 4 on both die.
Okay. So that is a success, but barely. So I'll say Maybe they don't put their hands on the piece, but they definitely do stand up. So the tension isn't quite as high. Cammy, you still walk up. Give me your intimidation.
Since I don't have it, where's my intimidation at?
If is intimidation a
I
skill?
don't have a skill for it. Yeah, I didn't take it.
Let me double check and make sure it's actually a skill. If it's not a skill, then let me rethink that.
I think it was.
Was it?
But I just didn't think I'd be very intimidating.
I don't have it either.
Well, you guys
We're
don't have all the
fucked.
skills. Yeah. Not all the skills are going to be on your sheet. Let me double check here. It would be an intimidate check could be done under a different role though. Let me see here. Intimidation. So intimidation is a spirit. So why don't you, instead of intimidate, you can give me an intimidate, or you can give me a fighting at -2. Intimidate without rolling a skill without having it is 1d4 -2.
Alright, I'll give you fighting. I got a D8, so I'll roll a D6. How's that sound?
Okay. No, you roll a d8 and then
Yeah.
-2 from the result.
Oh, alright. Okay, that works. So we can do that. We can do that. Maybe. Yeah, we can. There it is.
Can I tell you what I'm doing while this is happening?
Oh, I'm rolling hot.
Yes, we will come back to the success of that intimidation check after Bucky gives me his action real quick. So this guy's got his hand on the doctor's bag. Doc throws back his coat and shows his piece and puts his hand on his foot on this guy's hand. She's gonna walk up and say something super cool, I'm sure. And then what is Bucky doing?
Bucky saunters over. He's a little unsteady on his feet,
Mm-hmm.
and he goes over to. Do all three of them have their pistols drawn?
No, they don't
I
have
don't
their
think
pistols
nobody's got
drawn.
pistols drawn yet.
They have stood, and they're like in the draw position. They're ready to draw.
So I go.
These guys are standing, and the sort of fancier looking guy is still sitting and still holding his card and his cigar and whatnot.
Can I up the stakes for us personally a little bit?
Up the stakes for us personally. What do you got? Well, real quick, let me hear her. Let me hear her thing, and then we'll talk to you.
Okay.
So while this is going down, I'm pretending to be very drunk. I walk over to the man that's the farthest one that's about to draw his pistol from the dock. And I lean over.
This is the one that's specifically between you and Camilla. Like if you were to draw a line through him, maybe going through the three of you.
Okay.
I got your back, Bucky.
I lean over and I vomit all over his shoes. And while I'm leaning over and vomiting on him, what?
I'm like, what is a vomit check? Hold on.
Do you gag yourself correctly enough?
It's a skill I've learned.
Give me a vigor roll, I guess.
I
didn't see auto vomit on your list of edges.
I
got a 1 and a 1.
I will say that you walk up and you dry heave. You walk up and go, so you've definitely pulled the attention of two of these guys, but not in like a gross way, but they're definitely looking at you. But the third guy is still looking at Camilla as she's walked up and said,
well, while I was doing that, I was hoping to get my hand on his gun.
Oh no, you failed. You rolled a 1, baby girl.
Oh, honey,
you did not succeed. They saw right through you, and he puts his hand up. Unless you want to give me a Benny and re-roll that.
Yeah, let me
give him a Benny.
Okay.
Give him a Benny.
Okay.
Re-roll it, girl. It's gonna be better.
And be clear, by giving me a Benny, you're not. I do have my own set of Bennies to use for certain things, but by giving me a Benny, you are not actually giving me the Benny. You're sort of giving it to the bank.
Or subtracting one.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a 4 and then I got a 6 on the fate.
Oh, 6. So
Atta
roll
girl.
roll a d6 again.
Oh god, hold on.
You got this, girl.
A
You got
3.
this.
Okay. So you got a 9 total. That's a success with a raise. So you walk up
Atta
and you
girl.
throw up all over. And what is it you were trying to do with this?
I was trying to distract him so I could get my my hand on his weapon.
Okay. In that case, with that, you're going to give me. You've successfully distracted him. I'm going to say his weapon is going to be an agility roll. And real quick, I'm going to go back to Blue as she's walking up and saying something to this other guy. What were you saying?
You better not threaten my friend, otherwise I'm gonna have to hurt you.
And what was the result of your roll?
I had an 8.
An 8, so that's a success with a raise.
8 out of
So
you
this guy
bet.
sits down. This other guy between you and this third guy sort of sits down. So you got the guy getting vomited on. One guy still standing and looking, getting ready to like thinking about drawing on Doc. One guy's holding Doc's bag. This other guy sat down. Doc, what did you want to add?
My medical bag is where the bonds are.
Your medical bag is where the bonds
We gave the
are.
bonds to Doc.
Everyone take a Benny for that.
Oh man.
I only have one
No,
left.
you get a Benny. You get a Benny. I'm giving you a Benny for that.
Oh, we get it, man. Oh, okay.
Stormy has
Yeah.
significantly raised the stakes enough that I am happy and I'm giving him a Benny.
Yeah.
So
He's
all
happy.
Understood,
the
understood.
$3,000 worth of bonds are in that bag. And if this guy opens this bag and sees these bonds, one way or another, it's going to cause some trouble.
All right, darling, get your acting skills ready, Bucky.
So, BB, give me that agility check with the fate die again, just to swipe this guy's whatever it is we were trying to swipe. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
Okay. Let me find my 8 die. Hold on.
It is one of the ones with an 8 on it.
You know how many dice have 8s on them?
Exactly 4 in the set.
There's well in a set. Yeah, you can keep going though.
I got it.
She got it.
Ooh, I got a 1 and a 6.
5 in a set.
Oh my!
A 1 and a 6. So you got a 6. Roll a 6 again.
I got a 6.
Roll the 6 again.
Ooh!
Well, I got a 1 on the 8-sided and a 6 on the fate on the first time, and then I rolled the 8-sided one again. I got a 6.
Oh, you were supposed to roll the 6 again, but we'll call that a wash and call it a 12. That's still a success with 2 raises. So I think you pull this guy's whole belt off, and his pants fall off. So you've thrown up on him, and you've accidentally pulled his belt off. So you have his gun and his belt, and his pants fall down.
I look at him and go, "Darling, I think my gun might be bigger than yours."
I'm gonna give Stormy. You have given me that great little delicious tidbit. Excuse me. What's the next sort of action? At this point, everything's sort of paused for a second, and then this guy's sort of rethinking taking your bag. I'm gonna give you another chance to say or do something to him.
Now, all just go back to how we were a few minutes ago. You forget you came over here and tried to take my bag. I forget y'all came in here and caused me to be annoyed. And we'll all have a happy evening. Nobody has to die. No sheriffs have to get called. Ain't no bodies in the morning. I don't have to patch nobody up. It's a win-win. What do you?
Give me a persuasion roll. But go ahead and take a +2 to this roll.
That's good because I'm not a very persuasive individual.
Mm-hmm. Well, welcome in, Vanda.
4 on both die.
4 on both dice, so you roll the d4, or you roll a d6 and you add it to the d4. It's gonna get a little bit confusing, I guess, with all the dice switch and whatnot, but we'll get it down, I promise.
4 again.
Okay, so you got an 8 total, so that's a success with a raise. So I think this guy is at first thinking about starting some shit, but this dandier looking fella at the table, he says, "Where's my name generator? Caden, get your sorry butt away from him. Stop causing trouble." And Caden looks up and says, boss, this strange fellow walks in with a bag full of stuff into our property, and I think I have the right to look through it and see that he's make sure that he's not bringing any illicit substances into our good town. This guy stands up and he says, "Now, I believe I made myself perfectly clear when I said to leave the man alone." And Caden pulls his hand away from your boot, looks at you. And he spits on
I
your
smile
boot.
at him.
He spits on your boot and he walks back to his table. Globby, like chawy spit, like gross fucking sticky.
Well, that was mighty
look.
rude of you.
And he slides his chair
Mama
back.
not teach you
sits
any
down.
manners.
But this guy with the vomit on his shirt and his missing gun. This is another situation. Let's take a moment and look at this. So you got this guy's gun belt, and his you've thrown up all over him. What do you do next, BB?
Oh, I apologize.
You apologize?
Play drunk and innocent. I like it, girl. Get it.
Okay. What's your persuasion? D6. Give me a persuasion with a -2.
Okay, I got a 5 on the whatever and the 4 on the fate die. 6 die.
Okay. So that is not a success. So he looks at you and says, my fucking shirt is ruined. Look at this. What the
I mean, I don't.
he like reaches out and he does that like super aggressive like tap shove to you, where like it doesn't really hurt, but fucking like the force of it like pushes you back. Motherfuck. What's your response to that?
I think I exaggerated and fall past the chair and onto the floor and just act like I'm too sick to stand.
And as you do that, and are you still holding the belt, or did you let that go?
I let it go because
Okay,
the
so you-
situation de-escalated.
Yeah, you drop the belt on the floor as you sort of stumble away. He's not quite entirely convinced of your drunk act, but he does think that you're an idiot. And as this other guy, the dandy, says, Eden, sit the fuck down. We'll get you a new goddamn shirt. And this guy sits down. They're all sort of grumbling about it, but the situation has successfully de-escalated.
Does he pull his pants back up?
Oh yeah, he pulls his pants back up. He picks his gun belt up and he sort of fumbles with it for a minute and looking at you. And he sits down and he looks at his shirt, still covered in vomit. And he takes out the shirt and sort of tosses it tosses at your feet and he tosses at your feet and says, "Here, have a nice shirt." And they go back to their game. But they're still sort of casting glances at you. Cammy, what are you doing here? I'll give you another chance to act before I end this scene.
Let's see. I've already told him he better not draw, otherwise I guarantee my trigger finger's a lot faster than his.
Mm-hmm.
So he sat down.
Yeah. Everyone sat down, and the situation is sort of de-escalated. But before I move on to sort of the next sort of set piece, I'll give you a chance if you want to take an action here.
Did I ever get my bowl of oatmeal at my table?
Yeah. After you
I'll
gave
go back to it.
so I'll say actually the sort of closing incident is the oatmeal being set on your oatmeal being set on the counter. And you walk up
I'll
and
grab my old bill and go sit back to my spot.
okay. So after you guys finish your oatmeal, and you guys, I will say that as you're walking back, give me another notice roll. Everyone can give me a notice roll as they if they would like.
Ooh. I got a 1 and then I got a 3 on my fate.
4 and 5 fate.
So we got one success.
I got a 5 on fate. Oh wait. Oh shit. What's my? And a 4 on the other one.
Okay. So we got two successes. As you turn around and move back to your set, and as you maybe pick up this bag full of like expensive stuff, or and like hold it a bit closer to yourself, Doc. You look up and you notice that this other guy, the other gunslinger in the back of the room, has left. After the situation ends and it de-escalates, he puts his gun back in his belt and he walks out the door. And then, how much longer are you guys gonna? Would you guys say? We'll say that you guys rolled into town around just before midday, probably about 9 or so in the morning. And so we'll probably say that
Finish my
after this
oatmeal.
scene, it's probably about 10 or so. Yeah.
Alright, finish my oatmeal, light a cigarette. I guess we'll figure out when the general store is gonna open back up.
Yeah. I would say that after about another maybe 15 minutes or so after this scene closes, one of you sort of pokes your head out and sees that this wagon heading out of town. So you figure that the general store has opened up. Um, Now, as you see from your character sheets, I have given you each. We have established that all the bonds are in one bag. Um, as sort of just splitting equal measure here, I put $1,000 in each of yours that you can't really use. You can try to use them if you would like. Maybe the general store guy might be able to take them in some way, but you know that as soon as you use these bonds, there's a good chance that it could alert some authority that would know who you are. So really, you were just sort of dropping in to see what you might be able to find out about what, and you are heading towards the general store when you see a newspaper stand. A town like this doesn't get a lot of publications, but one publication that just about every town in the West gets is the Tombstone Epitaph. This is by some considered a bit more of like a National Enquirer type. Some people see it as a bit more historical. I'll let you determine your opinions on that as we go along. But you see "War in Mexico" as the headline. Who picks up the newspaper to read more?
Mate.
Okay, so Bucky, you pick up the newspaper and you're to sort of truncate what it explains. It says there is a border conflict between the powers that be in the Confederate States of America and the United States of America, and sort of the Mexican government. They've been clashing, and there's basically military outposts and stuff being established all across the Mexican border. And there's going to be all kinds of like troop movement and conflict in that area, basically making a trip across the Mexican border at this point damn near impossible from what you're reading. A lot of resources are you feel like maybe this might be part of the reason why the hunt for you guys was called off, but you know, a lot of resources are being spent to policing the border at this time, so it is much more difficult to get across the border right now.
That ain't gonna happen for us.
Well, gang, I don't think we're going the right way.
Nope. Looks like
Right.
Mexico question now.
Yep. We'll have to
What's the
find somewhere
closest
else
thing
to
to
run.
Mexico you can get? How about Cali?
Are we heading
Uh,
east or west?
So you guys were just sort of,
They go
as you
west?
ran, you weren't really running in any specific direction, but sort of as you were running, you were sort of more funneled, sort of a southeasterly way. Like you maybe, if you tried to go in just about any other direction, you run into more force, and southeasterly was sort of the only the way that you guys ended up going because it seemed like the safer way. Whether or not it actually was, given your death toll, that's debatable, but this is where you guys ended up. This is the safest you've felt in just about a month at this point. Um, and your one chance at sort of freedom, at more guaranteed freedom, has basically just been cut off. And as you guys are looking at this, we're going to pull out on the midday sun, and sort of the camera pans away as you look at this small town. It's really nothing more than the actual town center is really nothing more than a small post office, sheriff's office, the saloon slash general store. They share a wall basically, and so we pan out and we see this. We see this other cart sort of trailing away, and then it stops. This cart bearing a redheaded woman and sort of an older, more rotund man we can see from this distance. And they're talking about something, and we can't quite see what they're talking about, but clearly she's trying to convince him of something, and he's arguing against it. But after a couple minutes, he shakes his head, and then he rears the horses around, and they turn back around and head back into town. And we pull a little bit, and as they do this, we're pulling further and further away, until eventually we're seeing, until eventually we pull away so far we're seeing what could be considered a map of the Weird West, the unsettled states, and it tracks back along the path that you guys have made, this bloody path of the last 20 days, to a small spot, somewhere on the line between, what did I say? Jackson, somewhere, to where almost a month ago, about 16, 17 of your friends, including your leaders and mentors, were gunned down in a strange incident you guys really haven't stopped and discussed up to this point. When it first happened, you guys were just running, and at this point, you're still wrestling with your feelings about what happened. But we see a figure in he's got a bandana pulled up around its face, and a dark hat and a silver badge with a star on it, and he looks around at this area. The car's gone, the bodies have been cleaned up, it's been about a month, and he sort of kicks around. He walks in a wide circle around this area, around the tracks and around where everything happened, and he pulls something out of his little bag, and he's a rock of green and bluey black veins, and he puts it in a little bowl, and he smashes it down with a pestle, mortar and pestle, and he takes and sprinkles this rock in a circle, and once he completes the circle, he takes a match and he lights it, and a ring of green blue flame 20-foot area around where this massacre happened, about 20 days ago. One second. Gotta wet the whistle. And it creates this smoke that sort of fills this circle. And eventually, this guy raises his hand and twists it. And the smoke twists and spins. And eventually, you see figures appear, and they're sort of herky-jerky and moving in reverse. And he spins it and back to where you see a ghostly, smoky rendition of you and your crew standing there. And then there's a small, like a puff that temporarily dissipates the smoke, and then it resets. And then you hear you hear a ghostly voice say, "What the fuck? Did you see? Get down!" And then you hear on this ghostly voice in the wind, you hear this, and just the sound of all these sort of distant, echoey explosions. And the man nods his head as he watches this scene play out until eventually it ends, and the survivors are a stand, and they walk out of the circle, and their forms dissipate, and he waves his hand, and the flame goes out, dissipating the smoke into the night. He's got a trail. He knows which way to go. He sets out. The end.
I knew we were
Man.
being tracked.
Someone's after us.
Left too many bodies behind. Didn't have
Mhm.
enough time to bury them.
Yeah,
Right.
we definitely left the trail. I think the best thing for us to do is get rid of these bonds. Since we can't go to Mexico, they ain't safe here with us no more.
Okay. We'll discuss that a little bit. Feel free to think about that in the meantime. But we're gonna call it a night for tonight. Thank you guys so much. I had a lot of fun. This was one of the more fun opening sessions I think I've ever done. I wanted to make it a little bit different and sort of build a backstory together with you guys. And I think what we've created is really fun. You've given me a lot, so much to work with. Mm. This little thing I've got here, this list of names, guys. This is gonna be
Yeah,
we're gonna
man.
make magic with this list.
Can't wait.
But thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We appreciate you being here. Mile High Club TV, welcome. I haven't addressed you yet. I apologize. I meant to earlier, and then I get stuck in the narrative, and I apologize. I'm a bad host. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. I think you're a transfer from Blue. Be sure to check out her streams. What's your schedule like right now, Blue?
Monday through Thursday, 9:30-ish to about 2:30 a.m.
Oh
Um,
Lots of
man.
late
go
nights.
make sure to remind me before we close. We'll do a shout out for you. BB recently had a book released, Beast for the Harpist. I unfortunately am
It's
terrible friend.
amazing.
I haven't read it. I'm sorry. I
Okay.
got
The
distracted
audiobook
by the.
is actually about to come out.
Oh, I will definitely put that on my list. I'm more likely to listen to an audiobook than I am to read a book. I'm sorry.
I can give
I'm
you
terrible.
I can give you a code too if you have Spotify or something.
I have
I can give you
Spotify. I
a
have
code.
Audible. I have several options. We'll chat. We'll chat.
Perfect.
But check that out. Check her book out. I know I got mine off Amazon. I don't know what's all available. Where it's all available at. BB, do you
Most
know
retailers. Yeah,
most
yes,
retailers?
most retailers like Barnes and Noble, Amazon, Apple,
She writes
the
another
whole
name. Summer Hayes. HYES. HAYES. EIS. Which is a good name. Summer Hayes. Good name.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I love it. It's a good name. Stormy, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah.
He works a 9 to 5. He's a good man, supports his family. One of my oldest friends. Love him. He's
Yay.
actually got an up and coming. He's got an up and coming startup. He's funding diapers for dogs. Is his business. He delivers and installs diapers for dogs. So if you have an
Oh, the
incontinent dog,
installation.
That's sick.
Sorry, folks.
Like I
Contrary
said,
to
we've been
popular
friends for way too long.
what was that, Stormy?
I said, contrary to popular votes and opinions, I don't do nothing.
Yeah, no, he's cool though. We enjoy him. He's mostly exclusive here, but that's fine. He's a great talent, and I love having him. I don't feel comfortable unless I'm doing a game with Stormy. But yeah, we're Guild House of the Multiverse. We're back, and we're gonna be here for a while. I've got a lot of fun stuff planned. Thank everyone for coming out, and I hope you all have a great night.